Today's the day, boys. We got brand new OEMs, and today in this video we're going to be going through all of the patch notes, and I'll give you a couple thoughts at the end. All right, so first we have brand new tires. Okay, brand new tires featuring dynamic traction based on wheel load. Wheel load refers to the amount of force or weight applied to each wheel, which can be influenced through techniques such as body position, throttle control, braking, and terrain adaptation. This offers the player direct control over the traction, allowing them to power slide, square up, or grip up, interesting, and navigate difficult terrain with precision and confidence. Okay, basically, the tires are brand new, and if you lean, it makes a huge difference, which I will be making a complete separate video on that. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I don't know why you'd have to like, but subscribe so you can come back and watch that. Now, the tire roster has been completely overhauled, okay? No more multiple choices for front tires. There's just one now across all classes. We have the 80-121 for the front tires. That's it. Across all the classes, there's nothing new, or there's nothing different. You cannot select a different front tire. For the MX1 or 450 for my Freedom friends, we have the 110-90 or the 120-80. That means there is no 120-90 anymore, and you can't use a 100 on a 450. Pretty big change in my opinion. Moving on to the 250 class or the MX2 for my non-free friends. We have the 100-90 and or the 110-90. You cannot use a 120 on a 250 anymore. I personally think this is a great balance change. It's gonna just help you, the 250, from turning into an RT class, where you just hold down right trigger. We did some fact checking on this too, where I asked some of the pros I know, like, did you guys ever run a 120 on a 250? And basically they said no. Every once in a while, like a Washougal or a really blue groove track, they would run a 120, but I think for bikes, it really won't be applicable. For the MX3 class, you got 110, 120-80, and a 120-90. And then for the electric class, the old Stark Varg, we have the 110, the 100, the 120, and the 120-90. Okay, so we got basically all the tires on the electric bikes. Next, moving on to the bikes, we have enhanced steering to complement the new tires and the recent game changes to MX bikes. The front ends on these new bikes are absolutely perfect. It just feels right. I don't know how else to say it. It feels very intuitive. I don't really front tuck anymore. I don't have a lot of those like weird front tuck situations. I don't seem to clip my bars as much on the ground. It's just optimized power delivery for all bikes. The bikes are, I think, second gear and third gear feel a lot more usable, and fourth gear and fifth gear feel, I feel like a little bit more realistic, where your fourth and fifth just kind of pull for a really long time, but you're going to stay in second and third most of the time. Improved power to ground for the MX2 class. Yep, that's what that says. Optimized temperature management to better overall performance. Bikes don't overheat anymore. I'm not sure I ever experienced overheating. Okay, boys, this is a big one. Refined shift helper for more realistic responses, ensuring a fairer distinction between bikes. Okay, basically, the KTM, the Gas Gas, the Husky all had quick shift, right? Where you could just spam your shift button and it would just, you know, now they've made the Japanese bikes where you can shift a little bit faster on them to help keep up and lower the gap of meta, I guess. We're trying to bring the bikes a little bit more in line while keeping them all still unique and still different and fun, okay? Engine damage has been temporarily disabled, so you can't blow up the TM anymore. Pouring out for the TM homies that use the TM. I don't know why you do that, but anyway, moving on. Enhanced usability of gear 4 and 5. I think this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier. 4 and 5 do pull quite a bit, you know, down the range, if you will. And I think this is for my free ride guys that were a little bit frustrated in the preview bikes, where now 4 and 5, you can get over some big jumps now. And then increase the rear brake strength. Now, this is something I didn't really notice until I read this, and then I was doing some, like, the gameplay footage in the background. Yeah, the rear brakes is very good now. The brakes seem like way stronger now, and I think I'll have to lower my gain on my brakes, and then improved sound positioning to enhance the spatial audio support. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much the gist of it. A couple things to take away. Like I said, I will be making a whole separate video on this. Your rider lean is absolutely crucial now, and if you're leaning forward, if you're leaning back, if you're leaning right, if you're leaning left, it makes a huge difference now. So, and you can't just lean back anymore. Now, I'll go into more detail in a separate video, but just know that if you guys are getting on these bikes and you're really struggling and you're leaning back 24/7, Cam, I'm calling you out. It's not gonna be a fun time. So you really have to kind of rethink how you play the game, which is great in my opinion. And then, yeah, I mean, honestly, I love these bikes. Supercross feels amazing. Outdoors feels great. It doesn't feel like you're slipping and sliding all the time. But then if you overcook something, like if you come out of a corner and you just grab RT, it will spin around on you. And how I described it in the OEM team when I was testing for them is it feels like you are punished with a loss of time with not having good throttle control, but not punished where I'm gonna crash, right? So in a 180 bowl turn, I can come in and try to pivot, and I can do that perfectly and not lose a lot of time and kind of swing the rear end around. But if I get too hard on the throttle, it's just gonna spin around and I will, you know, end up shooting this way, which I think if you watch Supercross IRL, that happens a lot, especially on the more slick tracks without ruts. So I think, honestly, this is a really good, like, it's balanced really well. The bikes definitely seem more in line. And yeah, I've been loving these bikes. This is the first time I've been playing MX bikes by myself on, like, in testing without any reason to be. I wasn't recording. I was just grinding the bikes at night for fun in a very long time. So shout out to the OEM team. These bikes are sick. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you tomorrow for a tips video on how to master these bikes.